So I keep trying to be more succinct and more relevant when I'm trying to describe what's happening here at Bloomington Rad 1 and 2. And that I know that they've got us divided into Bloomington Rad 1, which is us and Walnut Woods downtown, and in Reverend Butler. And then Crestmont is just getting this perpetual work done on it. They are Bloomington Rad 2. And I know they're trying to find jobs for the Title III people, but it involves jackhammering up the sidewalk. They're doing malicious compliance. So in order to get jobs for Bloomington for Title III people, they're first of all, remember when Dave Paget, the manager of Anchrist Construction, that did the, which means NNRB, which is racial heritage in Nazi parlance, and Christos, which is Christianity. And he was telling his worker that there was the reason that they were taking these jobs was to get a dossier on every single one of the people in the community, to know everybody, even these little tiny people that are just, have problems and stuff like that, just in case they overcome their problems so that they can give them more problems. I'm paraphrasing, but that's generally what he was saying. And refuse to hire them, speak against them as employees, know what to accuse them of, that kind of thing. And then he referred to me as somebody that they had subjected to that stuff, and I had experienced that. They are, the leadership of what is going on here is involved in a church group called the IBLP. It's and I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but they took over Baptist, Pentecostal, Apostolic kinds of churches, and they don't, Church of Christ. They don't change the names on the outside, so they leave it like they found it when they bought it, but they become an IBLP contract or something like that. I forget what they call. There are documentaries about these people on YouTube, on Prime, Shiny Happy People, and apparently they've done a couple of seasons of this. I've only watched the first season, but they are blanket training. They blanket train their children. They put them on a blanket, they take away their toys, and they let them sit there and cry while they look at their toys, and then yell at them and treat them treat them bad if they go to try to just step off a blanket and get their toys. They are blanket training us by taking away our yards, our front doors, our porches, our sidewalks. Anything it looks like we're taking an interest in, they take away. So a lot of people call this dog school or dog training, but when they're doing it to children, they call it blanket training. So you teach a dog to sit there with a biscuit on its head and not eat it, or you put something on the counter and tell the dog when it can have it, that kind of thing. Teaching adult human beings on welfare that they have to ask permission to step outside the front door. Teaching adult human beings in America that they need permission to use the sidewalks on our blocks for exercise, just to walk around. So this is, and then the people that they're hiring, as I said, that they have the dossiers on them, that they are very mouthy, and there are lots of different words that you can use for what they're talking about, but they are using cuss words, using sex talk, using derisive words, and I'm not being too dismissive of them about this. I just want to say that I think that they've been cultivated to speak this way, that they are definitely uncomfortable in their jobs, that they are definitely struggling to figure out right from wrong, and they're being guided more often than not into being used against the tenants as to trying to make this project fail. Now, I believe in this kind of thing, but we have to have balance. We have to have balance in that we have lost tenants to psychosis due to the stress, and stress does exacerbate psychosis. We have, whereas they could have been successful tenants, they were placed where they were placed between loud people and jackhammers. And people need time to calm down. Not everyone calms down at the same rate. And if we all calm down at the target rate, none of us would be here. None of us would be here if we calmed down at the target rate. So this is why I've been complaining. I've been trying to make this as that we've been subjected to a social experiment by the IBLP Church, and that we have to be differential to all staff and contractors, or we are penalized. However, they are allowed to sexually approach us, and with using the full authority of their dominance to make threats of consequences, such as you'll be singing the blues if you leave and you don't give me what I want.